Hey, this is Jared, and I'm a life preserver for your cash flow. And I read a recent article in Green Sheets, which is an industry article for the credit card processing industry, and it's talking about cash discounting and surcharge and whether or not Visa will kill the program. First thing I want you to know is that Visa's customer is not the merchant, even though you're signing a contract with Visa. Visa's customer is a cardholder, so they kind of don't care what happens to the merchant. If there's a chargeback, for example, they will go in favor of the cardholder every time. That being said, the fees that are charged are being charged by the people that issue the cards, whether it's Comerica or your local credit union, whose name is on that card. That being said, Visa really doesn't care how much they charge you. They're not super happy about all the rising rates. Right now, Capital One has a card that's 5% cash back, which you've probably seen. American Express has a card that's 10% cash back, which would kill any retailer whose profit margin is 10%. Now they're paying 10% in credit card processing fees. So Visa's trying to actually fight on behalf of the merchants to get those fees down. Cash discounting and surcharge. That is the program where you're passing those fees on to the customer at the time of the sale. Visa really doesn't care how that program works. They're getting paid regardless. What they do care about is customer perception. They want the program to work very cleanly and seamlessly and be consistent and very disclosed properly to the consumer. That's where their contention is. And right now, as of pretty recently, I believe it's the last month or so, roughly 70% of businesses are using a pass on the fee program. And more than half of those customers, those businesses that are using it, are not using a credit card processing company to do their program, which means they're doing it illegally. There's literally no way to do the program legally and in compliance without using a third party. There's just some certain rules that were put into place that Visa has, like, for example, you can't charge more than you take in. So if you're charging 3.99% and your fees are only 2.8%, there's 0.2% that roughly Visa's saying that's not accounted for. And the IRS is not happy when you're generating revenue and you're not claiming it on your taxes. So how do you account for that? Well, you have to do it in every transaction. The only way to find out how much that transaction cost you is when you get your bill 30 days later at the end of the month. So literally it's not possible to follow that rule unless you use a third-party processor. So other issues that Visa's running into is you're not allowed to do a surcharge program on debit cards, and we're seeing that happen a lot. Another one is that people are putting in the cash discount program or the surcharge program in like their tax file, like their city tax or some type of invoice line on their invoices, and it's not giving customers a cash alternative. So if that customer pays with cash, they're still paying a credit card processing fee, which is not a quote-unquote cash discount. So that's a requirement. If you're doing sales online, how do you get around that? Well, there's ACH. You can actually put an ACH button for payment through ACH, so your customer now has a free cash option to make a payment if they don't want to use their credit card. So there's lots of things coming into play. If you've been to a gas station where they use the cash and credit pricing, they display both of their prices. So the customer is aware of what those prices are. And Visa is pushing to have that disclosed as well. So if you're using a cash discount price, you have to let your customer know, here's your cash price, here's your credit price, which would you like to use, cash or credit? So they know it's disclosed properly for them. And disclosure is also important as well. The way the receipt reads is very important. The way that it's disclosed to the customer at the time of the sale and when they enter the building is very important. So all those rules are really important as far as following them, so you don't have any compliance issues, you don't have any fines. But also with Visa, so what Visa's doing is because they want this program to succeed and they want it to be consistent between business owners, they're starting to push fines. The fines are $10,000 per transaction. They're going after the big guys first because they know if they get, say, Target, and they fine them $100,000, it's going to make the news, and all the little guys are going to start to follow suit. All the mom and pops are not going to want to fine, so they're going to start to follow the program correctly. So that's kind of where the program is leaning right now. We're hearing a lot of information going back and forth. The one thing that we have heard most of is that the interchange rates are going up. And the interchange rates is the rates that you pay for credit card processing. For example, some people say, okay, Square is 2.78%, that's all I pay. They don't realize they're paying as much as 9%, but those are based on interchange rates. Those rates are being billed based on interchange rates. And if those interchange wholesale rates are going up, so are the rates that you were paying as a business owner. So getting on this program sooner than later is what you need to do. Working with a knowledgeable processor who knows how to implement it correctly, register you with Visa, make sure you're following rules is very important. And if you want more information on how to make that happen, contact us. Thanks.